Hi guys, it's Alex. So a few months or weeks ago, you received or bought a stunning orchid and you were over the moon preparing to be the best orchid parent ever. But now you are staring at a plant like this and wondering if you're a bad parent and your orchid is dying. First thing first, don't worry, your orchid is not dying. Are you feeling better? Great! Now let's talk about it in a little bit more detail. Orchids, like all other plants, have blooming cycles, which of course don't last forever. They either end in seed pod formation, or if flowers don't get pollinated, they just fade, dry up and fall off. Another thing to know is most, but not all, orchids tend to grow a new flower spike for each new blooming and discard it after the cycle is over. So these so-called stems, which are actually flower spikes, are those spent and discarded spikes. Since the flowers and the spikes are dead, we can very comfortably remove them. This will improve the appearance of the plant, and in general it is better to remove any dysfunctional parts of the plants, as they may harbor pests and attract fungal infections. I suggest that you remove the spike support as well, as there will be no need for it, for at least until the new spikes develop. To remove the old spikes, you can use sterilized scissors or pruners and cut them off as close to the main stem as possible without damaging the leaves or the stem itself. If the flower spikes are still green, you can leave the green part and cut the spike above the last alive node. If your orchid is strong and healthy, it may decide to develop a secondary flower spike or even a baby plant from the node. Please, however, consider the condition of your plant. If it doesn't have many leaves and roots and spent already considerable time blooming, you may want to cut the spike off completely and let the plant take some rest and focus on growth and energy restoration. Hopefully you will agree that after trimming the spikes, the plant looks much better and tidier. The next favor you can do your orchid plant is to wipe the leaves clean with a slightly wet cotton disc. Make sure though that the disc is not dripping water and the water doesn't get between the leaves, as this may cause stem and crown rot in certain conditions. Start with new leaves and work your way down the plant. This cleanup will not only give the leaves more light, which for the plants means more energy, but also will help you to check that your plant doesn't suffer from spider mites. You can watch more about this in the tagged video. By the way, there is something interesting I want to show you on this plant. You can see that all fully grown leaves are about the same size apart from this one. You may think that this is because it is a young leaf, but it is actually the fourth oldest leaf. Even the third oldest leaf is bigger. What it means is that at some point in time, when the plant was sitting somewhere like a shop, and trying to grow this new leaf, it didn't have enough energy or water or both. So this is a good illustration of the consequences of inadequate care. We want our phalaenopsis to bloom again, and it needs to grow strong and healthy to be prepared for the next blooming cycle. Finally, let's look at the roots. The most common question I get is why the roots are sticking out and if it is okay. The answer is yes, it is perfectly fine. Orchids are epiphytes, or in other words, air plants. In nature, they grow suspended in the air, being attached by own roots to a tree for support, so roots are exposed in most cases. By the way, even though orchids live on other plants, they are not parasitic on supporting plants, as often believed. Some people don't like the look of the air roots and cut them off for aesthetic reasons, but generally it is not advisable. Orchids lose roots for various reasons, so the more roots your orchid has, the better are its chances to survive any potential root loss episode. What is not okay is when roots appear mushy or shriveled. These roots are most likely dead and should be removed, otherwise they may start decaying and polluting your orchid's environment. If your plant is sitting inside an ornamental pot, it's the right time to remove it and inspect the condition of the roots inside. Check the inside of the outer pot for insects and mold and clean it if it hasn't been done in a while. Any bacterial buildups are a risk to the plant's well-being. What you want to be seeing is healthy fat roots, green when watered and silvery when dry. If this is not what you are seeing, you may need to repot your plant into fresh media and remove dead roots. In our case, luckily the roots are in great condition and there is nothing to be done. It's a good plant and all it needs now is to grow more leaves to create more space on the stem for new flower spikes. To help the plant grow better, we need to fertilize it with a weak fertilizer. If you don't have fertilizer developed specifically for orchids, then you can use your regular fertilizer, but only about a quarter of the regular dosage. And we need to put it in a bright location. Morning or late afternoon direct sun will do your plant wonders, but phalaenopsis orchids grow reasonably well even without direct sunlight exposure. And that's it! Now you know your orchid is not only very much alive but also well looked after. All you have to do is to maintain the care, and hopefully it will thank you with new blooms again and again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share with your friends. And if you're a plant lover, consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. See you soon!